Welcome to Point to Rise, your podcast that gives you permission to dream big, take messy action, and turn your talent into profit while turning your back on perfection. My name is Susanne, high performance and mindset coach, former international ballerina, profitable entrepreneur, and founder of Point to Rise, a movement designed to empower dancers. It is my mission to use my own story as an inspiration for today's generation of dancers. And now sit back, stretch, warm up, or sip your coffee and love learning how much it matters to point at yourself first to rise to all that you are capable of.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Point to Rise podcast. I am yet again in a different office space, having a ball, trying everything out. I want to talk to you about something that came up for me this week, and that something is my perpetual need to find validation outside of myself. So here's how it started. On Tuesdays, I'm in several masterminds, but in this particular mastermind, we have a call every Tuesday. And I just needed to share what was coming up. When we were talking about money and success. And it was a bit off the topic, but it just flirted out of my mouth, followed by a flood of tears. And that was, I am seeking validation from my mother. And I was shocked, and because I thought that I don't need that anymore. I'm not looking for this. This is not important for me, but it still is. It's deep down in my subconscious somewhere. So we took this apart, and I became very aware of my story around validation and my journey around seeking validation from other people. And I have to say that truly is the story of my life. Ever since I remember back everything that I did as a child, or then in ballet school and on stage, was always to seek validation of my own worth in other people, in other circumstances. And it didn't matter what I had to do, how much I had to bend as me. I didn't even allow myself to blossom and to figure out who I was. I just followed what was expected of me, or what I thought I needed to do in order to be seen, heard, and loved fully and accepted. And quite honestly, it goes all the way to this morning in the gym. So my heart monitor wasn't working. Okay, it was a new one. And I was looking at it, and I found myself consistently checking if I have, reached a certain level. Am I working out hard enough? Am I stressing my body enough so I can lose some of my COVID fluff? And instead of asking the question, instead of not doubting myself and doubting my gut, no, I completely threw my self-belief under the bus and said, okay, no, Susie, you have to work harder, so you get the outside validation from your little app that tells you whether or not you're doing a good job. That is my job. That is no app's responsibility. It is also not somebody else's responsibility to tell me that I am doing a great job. That's a bonus. It's on us, on every single person, to know intrinsically if we're doing our very best. And I was sweating. I was doing all the things. I was exhausted. I was lifting 15-pound weights. Yeah, I was lifting 15-pound weights. I should have known better. That was all I had to give at that certain pound and at that certain moment. But since I didn't get the outside validation I was looking for, I pushed harder and harder and harder. And that is not our way to success. That is not our way to fulfillment and true joy. So I found actually, let me pull this up, an article this morning, and I'm going to preface here. I'm going to quote actually: the root cause of most approval seeking behavior is self-esteem. The sense of inferiority arises from many factors. Some relate to your natural personality, while others stem from external influences, such as our upbringing, the cultural experiences, education, and our work life. Okay, so if one person lacks self-belief, like if we don't really know who we are, what we're worth, and what we're capable of, we're self-critical. So we remember how I said I threw myself under the bus. That is, I think, the best analogy that I can use here is that we're not sticking up for ourselves. We are the first person that throws ourselves under the bus, that steps away from really honoring who we are. We are not our very best friend. We are not standing up for ourselves. And that is such a, that's not okay. And we don't have to do that. Now, let me give you a few behaviors that are very common when we're actually trying to get approval or validation from others, okay? So there is taking disagreement personally. You know, when someone disagrees with something or says something and you are shredding it apart, you're blaming the other person for saying what they were thinking, and you are basically spending weeks upon weeks on feeling upset about this kind of comment. Number two, changing or adapting your point of view in face of the fear that the other person could disapprove of your opinion. That's a big one. Said I did that often enough. Oh yeah, moved around in my, weighed and swayed in my opinions. Another one, number three, is afraid. You are afraid to say no out of fear for disapproval from somebody else. We are fearing the disapproval of that other person because our self-worth really depends on that other person. Number four is you're not standing up to your own rights. And number five, gaining attention through gossiping and accepting that kind of behavior, because you're basically bounding, is that the right word? No, we're aligning with other people when they are gossiping. So these are just a few behaviors that have very little to do with what we're actually seeing, and we're diving deeper into the roots of it. We actually see that these behaviors stand for seeking approval and validation from others. Now, if you think back, how you behaved, how you live through your day, what you're doing, I encourage you and invite you to really look through the lens of validation. And here is why. This kind of behavior, or this kind of, it's a behavior, the seeking of validation from others, it doesn't stop. It's not going to stop the moment you step out of the studio, out of the theater. It's not going to stop. You're going to take that with you because it has become your default behavior. And with that, you're putting so many you're putting so many roadblocks in your way. So I'm going to give you an example that I had to deal with. And I'm really just at the beginning of it because it wasn't really quite clear to me. So when you start a new business, you have to take a lot of action. You have to make a lot of decision, and there will not be anybody telling you whether or not it's right or wrong. Well, the reason why I didn't take action because I was looking for validation from other people whether or not I'm doing the right thing. Okay, had I actually had the awareness of this kind of behavior in my career or even in my corporate life, where, by the way, I also perpetually was seeking validation and attention from other people in order to prove myself, my self-worth. And that holds you back. It's just, you're not going to get it done. You're not going to take inspired action. You're not going to step outside of your comfort zone if you believe that somebody else's job is to tell you that you're doing a great job. No, my loves, that is your responsibility. Somebody else telling you that is a bonus, but you have to find it for yourself first. And seeking it consistently from the outside makes you depending on other people. It takes your power away. It takes your decision making away. You will always live in this perpetual energy draining wheel that you created when you're looking for validation from the outside. Now, sit on that. Take a book, write down what you think you are having your own self-worth attached to. Is it to other people, or do you truly know that you are worthy and that you deserve everything you want? And if that's not the case, go reach out, go find some help, go talk to other people about it. Yeah, well, that's what I have for you today. I'm sending you so much love. You are so worth it. The German came in here. You are deserving of everything that you want, and nobody in this world can take this away from you or make you want it. No, make you believe that it is your job to please them. I'm sending you so much love. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And don't forget, subscribe, share, leave a review. It would mean the world to me if you would do that, and tag your biggest takeaway in your stories or on other social media platforms. Till then, bye.
Thank you so much for listening. If this message resonates with you, please pass it on to someone who needs to hear this right now. And if you like what you've heard, your feedback will go a very long way. If you just take 30 seconds and leave me a 5-star review, that would mean the world to me. Till next time, point at yourself to rise to all that you are capable of.